unusual to see kids listening to music on their phones with earbuds. That steady onslaught of loud noise is damaging their hearing, but they may not realize it for years to come. The World Health Organization warns that more than 1 billion young people are at risk of hearing loss because of personal audio devices and loud concerts. In fact, hearing loss among today's teens is about 30% higher than in the 1980s and the 1990s. So what can you do to help protect your child's hearing? Well, Dr. Andrew Heaford is here with Spectrum Health to answer some of those questions for us today. Good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Are you seeing hearing loss like this in some of your patients right now?
I think you make an interesting point in that you may not see it in some of the earlier ages. Definitely, I've had several patients in their teens that have had significant exposure to loud noise that have experienced hearing loss. A lot of times it's a cumulative effect over years that we see patients presenting, in their 18, early 20s, and they start to have a cumulative loss at that point where it becomes clinical to them and it starts to become a problem at that point.
Well, I see stuff like this with even my young children, age 7, in the classroom. They'll wear headphones to do some of their studies on iPads and other devices like that. So this is something that's becoming, we're putting that sound closer and closer to our ears more and more often for different activities, for fun and for learning, aren't we?
And that's an interesting point as well. It's really something to pay attention to as the technology has changed over the years. The devices they give us these days, we get earbuds that present the sound very close to the drums. It can change the sound pressure levels. They give us these devices and they talk to us about percentages of sound, but really it's the placement of the sound near the cochlea that causes the damage over time.
Is there any way to reverse this once it starts?
Yeah, once you have this hearing loss, it's really something that's difficult to turn around. It's something we can't. So preventative measures are very important.
What are those preventative measures? What can we do as parents for our kids?
So the most important thing is not only pay attention to the level of sound they have, but the duration of sound as well. So, some of these iPods or listening devices can play up to 115 decibels with the earbuds in the ears. Making sure you have a maximum volume is important, but also limiting the duration, the time period at which they listen to it is important as well.
Okay, so just like screen time, we're going to limit that for another reason as well.
Exactly.
Okay, thank you for joining us this morning. Great information for us to keep in mind.
Thank you.
Well, it is 6